If you are a woman who is a total boss, badass, building a massive empire, massive wealth, scaling your business, and financially rich AF, but your love life has been a ghost town for years, we need to talk. Tomorrow, we have a massive Cancer new moon activating the collective, particularly and especially the feminine collective. And this Venus message coming through today is demanding an energetic eviction notice for these coping mechanisms that have been holding you, the successful woman, back from divine partnership, from marriage, from union that I know that you do desire. Let's be completely honest. There is a specific archetype that is currently dominating the wealth space right now. And it is this highly influential businesswoman who thousands of women are looking up to for career advice, but who has been single for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And whenever she speaks on marriage, it comes from one of two places. It's either this subtle disrespect for men in the masculine role in partnership, acting like, she doesn't want a man or need a man or desire marriage herself, or this massive list of these sky high expectations for a masculine partner with absolutely zero accountability and expectations for herself and her own mastery of her feminine receptivity. This reminds me of this um, character, actually, Lauren from the movie Think Like a Man, who is this wealthy, gorgeous, stunning, executive in her at her firm, and she's very, financially successful. And her exes, though, told her, "You don't need a man, Lauren. You are a man." So, if you've been praying for a husband, if you've been manifesting, desiring a husband, a divine partnership with a man, and this sounds like you, but you're preparing for this battle, even though you're praying for a husband, then this new moon is going to be your turning point. As women, we are fundamentally ruled by the moon, the cosmic mother of Cancer, right? So, Cancer is the ultimate architect of the divine feminine throughout the entire zodiac. Um, it's connected to our maternal lineage. It's the ruler of the fourth house, home, mother energy, and our intuitive safety and our emotional sovereignty. We just had Jupiter move through Cancer, which was for 1 year, right? Jupiter remains and transits in the sign for 1 year. And it was a massive collective, feminine collective, really cosmic test. Jupiter was highlighting this exactly where the feminine collective had been sabotaging our own pleasure, our true desires, and our natural power by wearing this masculinity like a protective shield, especially as it pertains to our relating to our own heart spaces and desires and receptivity, but our receptivity to men, the masculine, okay? And trusting in him also in his role as the masculine. So the universe was whispering with this Jupiter in Cancer transit, you will be rewarded, which Jupiter is known for rewarding, right? When you submit to the wisdom of the intuitive, receptive, and calm feminine leadership. Tomorrow's new moon is the activation of that reward, all right? And it is the cosmic harvest of what Jupiter just prepared while it was in Cancer. And it always happens like this too with Jupiter, that it rewards, um, after it moves out of that sign, what you were meant to notice, acknowledge, and embody as it pertained to the archetypal energy that Jupiter was in. So it was Cancer. So, to receive that harvest, you have to open the gates of receptivity to your own feminine essence, energy, and power. And you cannot manifest this high caliber king, right, of a man while you're actively disrespecting the masculine role or pretending that you are too self sufficient to be cherished by a man. So, the medicine that we need to swallow under this Cancer moon then is going to be that many of you have likely bypassed like 10 potential husbands. Yeah, 10 genuinely good, solid men. And it is simply because you are viewing them through the lens of your past trauma, expecting, looking for the red flags without any sort of discernment, wisdom, or knowing how really to look for the green ones. So, because you're in this executive or you are an executive in your business, you're trained to mitigate risk and you hyper focus on looking for those red flags. You're constantly bracing for impact, expecting men to fail you, cheat on you, or let you down, to not be capable, right? In their masculinity, in leading and providing and protecting. So when this good man steps forward, you're hyper vigilant and it categorizes his peace, these good men, right, as boring. Or your fear of these past red flags repeating makes you self sabotage the connection before it even starts. So you cannot pray, like I said, for a husband on a Sunday and then prepare for a narcissist on a Monday. This new moon is going to demand that you forgive yourself also, because it is connected to the heart Cancerian energy here. And forgive yourself for the ways that you allowed your fear to blind you to love. It's time to trust your own wisdom and the discernment that you have definitely, I'm sure, gained from the men, from those past experiences that weren't meant for you for the long term, so that you can finally stop pushing the masculine collective away and punishing them for what your exes did. Okay. So you're like, Cydney, you're telling me all of this, but aren't you one of these women? Well, you know what? Yes, I have been. And I am in a divine partnership now, divine union now, marriage now. And I'm still learning about really submitting to, being receptive to really of my own feminine essence, wisdom, and embodiment as it pertains to my partnership and with my man. And he is peace. Oh my gosh, he is peaceful. And I thought, especially in the beginning of us starting to vet and court, one another, that he's boring. That I thought there was something wrong. But my intuition kicked in tremendously and said, no, your nervous system is learning how to respond to this, honey. So, what we need to do then, in terms of this, when I say calm feminine leadership and activating this in order to receive that reward, right, that I'm telling you is going to be activated with this new moon from Jupiter in, prior being in Cancer, is we're going to unlock the blueprint really of our divine partnership. You have to master the art of calm, receptive leadership. And the way that you do this is by being what a queen truly is, right? Which she's not building walls, she's building a sanctuary, all right? Um, so stop preparing for red flags and get exceptionally good at noticing and rewarding even green flags. And that, I'm going to say, is a massive one actually for many women in all tax brackets, I've noticed. And because it's even a trend, right? To this saying of red flag this, red flag that. But where is the trend about the green ones? Like, I I don't see it so much or so often when it comes to women that are perhaps like on social media or on TV shows, um, talking about men and the masculine and their dating experiences. Um, so, also, the next thing is going to be that you have to lower your hyper masculine guard and raise your standards for how deeply you allow yourself to receive care, protection, provision, and also to be this encouragement, you know, towards that man, towards that masculine, because it doesn't matter how successful he is in terms of his tax bracket, he needs that. That is just how we are wired in terms of the feminine and masculine energetic principles and divine union and partnership, all right? Women and men in relationship with one another. So you need to recognize your role. This is the most important one. A high caliber, powerful masculine man does not want to compete with another man in the bedroom, okay? Or even in their legacy building together, right? He wants a safe harbor. He wants your intuition, your peace, your soft, radiant leadership. That's what I mean when I say calm and soft. I'm not saying to not express, and radiate outwardly in your partnership with him and what you build together, your, how do I say here, like your prophetess, like high priestess, like wise, like sharp, direct, like, like you should also exude and radiate that, but you have to know, and it takes practice and willingness to practice and get good at it, when that is appropriate to exude and express that. And when it is necessary that you are more actually submissive. Yes, the feminine is submissive and the masculine gives. Okay. So recognize your role and understand that also when I say he wants your intuition, he does. He will, the right man, right, that we're talking about here, right? The green flags. That man who is peace, who is boring, he wants your intuition. He wants your wisdom that he knows that the divine feminine is. Because we are, as you may have heard in some sayings from other people here, we're the neck when it comes to the relationship, when it comes to our home, the household, the legacy that we're building. We turn and we say that direction, it needs to go there, but we're not the ones with the reins, right? um Moving the chariot. That's not us. We don't have, and we're not meant to, the physical actually stamina, build, mental, all of that to move the chariot. We're directing and guiding it. We intuitively receive, we're like the map. We intuitively receive the direction that, we need to go. And this, I want to say just a little bit about it and sharing one of my personal experiences that I have just had. I mean, this has happened to me before in the past too, happened for me, I'll say, but I didn't recognize the wisdom of what it was. But this time I do. And perhaps it's because also I've just been growing and evolving in my capacity to receive my own feminine energy here and her wisdom, um, as it has been guiding me in my own, life and experience, let alone in my partnership and what my partner and I are building together. So I literally have been receiving so clearly, intuitively, as the prophetess, as the priestess, as the empress that I am, these, you can say, downloads, just very clear direction, provision from God, universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it, source, that, pretty much saying to me, like, tell him this. Tell him this is what you guys need to do. Tell him we don't want him to waste his time with that other thing, that other business venture, or, this or that person or this place or whatever. Tell him this. And we will give you the next step after you tell him this. And that's me being also tested here to trust my intuition, to trust in my feminine essence, that is intuitive and receptive to what divine God, is giving me. And there have been times where, like I said, I received such things in the past and I ignored it. I doubted it because I was like, well, I'm afraid to, say this to him. And it comes off as like I'm being masculine and trying to control. And that's not what it is at all. It's really about the way in which you deliver it, the message, the intuitive inclination and guidance and direction that you receive and that you're meant to use to right thee that neck and make sure you're headed in the right direction in your partnership, in your what you're building your kingdom right together, and for him in his endeavors. All right. So, you do not have to shrink your empire to get the love of your life. You just have to remember how to take off your armor when you walk through the front door. So, if this message just shook your spirit, if you resonated with it, if you're one of these women, this Cancer new moon is then telling you that it's time to completely recode your relational blueprint as it pertains to men, as it pertains to the masculine, and your receptivity to your own feminine power and essence. So stop building your life in the dark or copying what pop culture has been telling you is this boss babe, okay, and what a boss babe should be, and that you don't need a man if you're a boss babe and this and that. No, because you're lying to yourself. I know you want it. And you need to look at your chart, decode this blueprint, that is available to you. Where was Jupiter just transiting for you? Also, by the way, what house? If you have planets in Cancer, also especially that. Because Jupiter was, touching those planets, then working together, those two planets in Cancer, in that area of your chart, your house, aka the area of your life, where you need to really own and embrace this shift so you can be rewarded and receptive, prepared to receive the reward, right, from Jupiter in this Cancer new moon activation, all right, in your divine feminine essence and embodiment. So, if you're ready to activate your true sovereign divine love codes, then you can click the link in my bio to look at my current offerings. They're also in the description box below. And I highly recommend for you, especially, that you start with the Celestial Code Masterclass, masculine and feminine mastery in career and in love, right? Because they are connected, and you will find that out not just with this Cancer new moon, right? And the Jupiter rewards for the feminine collective being in their feminine energy, their actual feminine energy, but you will especially find that out as you continue down the path that you're on and you start to be even unsatisfied in your career, in your financial endeavors and successes, accomplishments. You'll see that they're not enough if you don't already, because you do desire and crave more, and you're meant to have more in terms of your pleasure and receiving from the masculine. Okay, so like this video, subscribe, and let me know in the comments, are you ready to stop chasing and start receiving? And I'll see you in the next Venus message. Oh, actually, if you made it this far, stay for the next like 2 minutes. I'm going to grab one tarot and one Healing Waters Oracle card because I felt very called to do that for this message in particular with this Cancer new moon activation. Right. Tarot. Okay, y'all. This is wild. I mean, I can't make it up. Come on now. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, universe. Thank you, spirit. Okay. We have the tarot card here. If you can see it, I know it's not really focusing. The Empress. Like, I can't make it up. That is literally what this is all about. Like I said, it's that really divine, feminine Empress energy that wants to be embodied and rewarded here. This is all about the feminine essence being expressed through women here on earth in this collective. And a card that goes with that, it is in German, but I will translate Geburtsmysterien. It's like birth mystery. So what are you birthing? It says like, what do you want to see created? It's all about focusing on that which you actually do desire to see and experience. And as it pertains here to your love life, to your husband, your partnership, your marriage that you're calling in, and not focusing on those red flags, expecting those red flags, right? Expect the green ones. Prepare to receive that. Get good at being able to visualize and envision the green flags, honey, okay? And you will be prepared to receive that when you expect that. All right. So that is your Venus message for this Cancer New Moon activation. I'll see you next time.